things that they had. In 1972, there is, according to my research, a complete blackout of detailed information, records, what have you, for a period of 18 months. Nobody knows what happens between the summer of 82 and I think it was summer of 72 and January of 74. There's absolutely no records. I talk to security guards. They don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened there. I don't really have any suspicions because the Flying Saucer program began, Project Red Light began, it's my information, in earnest at Groom Lake in 1960. They did attempt to fly one or two of the craft. There was a major accident, and the testing operations shut down for a number of years. The testing operations began in earnest again, I believe, in 1980, 81, 82, around that area. And the reason I say that is because the security increased drastically during that period. And I believe that just south of Groom Lake, which is in the northeast corner of the Nevada test site, is a place called Papoose Lake. It's a dry lake. There's a secret area there called S4. And I believe that that's where they test the saucers out of. My sources are varied, but the primary source being Bob Lazar, who worked on one of the 9 saucers that were stored there.
Welcome to Gateway 4. I'm Stewart Best. I'll be your host as we travel down this enigma and the mystery of the UFO, which in this particular video we're going to focus more on America and the American UFO situation, simply because America plays such a major role in Bible prophecy. Although most prophetic scholars will tell you that America is not in Bible prophecy, the exact opposite is the actual truth. Not only is she in Bible prophecy, she covers a vast amount of pages within the Bible. And as we told you in the Gateway series, parts 1, 2, and 3, it is our feeling here at Christian Intelligence Alert that you cannot understand the UFO situation apart from understanding the Bible. So what we're going to do is take a very quick, brief course in biblical prophecy as it's going to relate to the UFO enigma, because the Bible was very, very clear from the comments of the Old Testament prophets and from Jesus Christ himself in the book of Revelation that the UFO is going to play a major and essential role to what he called a great deception, a strong delusion. Now, I realize there are a lot of people who reject the Bible, reject its message of redemption, salvation, and along with it, of course, the prophetic utterances that it has. However, if one would actually sit down without bias and just simply read the Bible as a book, analyze it very closely, you will have to come away astounded at what it says, and you would come away astounded as to its accuracy in Bible prophecy. God claims in the Bible that his prophets are 100% accurate. That means that they are exactly that, 100% accurate, and not one jot nor tittle shall pass away from anything that they have said before it is fulfilled. Now, one of the reasons this is true is because God resides outside of time and space. He's seen everything go down all the way through to the end, to the conclusion, from the beginning to the end, Alpha to Omega. I am the first and the last, he says. So, being outside of time and space, he simply witnesses what happens, writes it down, gives it to its prophets, and we in turn read that so we know where we are on the prophetic timeline. Now, Daniel is probably the best of the end-time prophets. He spends a fair amount of time outlining history for us so that we might know, and the book of Revelation unlocks Daniel, and Daniel unlocks the book of Revelation. They are two keys that have to be understood in order to appreciate what is really going on in the UFO mystery. It's very, very essential that biblical prophecy be properly interpreted, because if it isn't, you come away, of course, with a gross distortion of the real truth. The Bible itself says that as we enter into the last days, that the vast majority of Christians will have a gross misinterpretation of biblical prophecy and therefore will actually end up supporting and in participation with what God says is a strong delusion. If you did not have the comment about a strong delusion in Bible prophecy, then you'd kind of be left maybe out in the open when you analyzed a UFO. But because of the warnings, the constant warnings of deception said Jesus Christ was going to be the keynote of the times of the end. This deception would be very, very great. It would be so great and so effectual that the vast majority of people would buy into it simply because they had refused Bible prophecy, they had refused Jesus Christ, and they had refused his message of salvation and redemption. And God says, well, all right, I've sent you the truth. I've told you the truth. I gave it to you through my prophets. They've written this down now for hundreds and hundreds of years. I then send my Son into the world, and he gave you the truth. You didn't like it, so you crucified and you killed him. And then you killed the apostles after him. And so now, because you have done all this and because you continue to reject the actual truth, I'm going to send you a delusion. I'm going to send you a deception. And that deception is going to be absolutely powerful and absolutely effective. And it will come in the form of material proof that will essentially prove that Jesus Christ was not the Redeemer of mankind. That mankind, rather than being created, evolved and is evolving upward and is going to soon join the intergalactic civilizations that are out there. And the only thing preventing him from doing it now is he needs to take a quantum leap forward up the evolutionary ladder, just like he did when he came into the knowledge of good and the knowledge of evil that the Bible records. Now, in the doctrine of evolution, which is extremely important to the UFO mystery and enigma, the claim of the evolutionists is that we started out from the chaos of the primordial soups and slowly evolved upwards from monkeys to apes to mankind, and that mankind himself has been slowly evolving upwards, getting smarter and smarter and more refined. Now, whereas the Bible does not necessarily deny evolutionary processes, it certainly most assuredly denies the evolutionary direction. The Bible is emphatic that we were created perfect from the hands of a perfect God. And we're not talking about lesser gods that run around seeding planets in the universe. We're talking about the God of all gods, the God who created time, matter, space, energy, life, and spirit. We could call him the CEO, the top authority. There is no other God beside me, he says in the book of Isaiah. At least I don't see any from where I'm sitting. In other words, we are talking about the one, the powerful, all powerful God who created the universe and everything that's in it. Now, he claims that mankind was created perfect and that there were certain force fields that were held in abeyance during the Garden of Eden story, and that when mankind was presented with the knowledge of good and evil, which he promptly partook of, that God decided to allow several force fields to come into operation, one of the primary ones being the law of thermodynamics, which is the primary root cause of the curse. And from this comes the universe that we see and know, and from that flows all of history. It wasn't meant to be that way. Mankind was created to have actually power over nature. He was created with an inner essence of pure love, a love so vast and so great that you cannot comprehend it unless God reveals it to you. In the Greek, they simply call it agape because they had no other name for it. Mankind was created in pure agape. When he fell, he lost that love and fell into a universe of self importance of self-love, and he cannot escape